News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Oil and gas leases canceled near Glacier National Park. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, November 17th, 2016. The sky is cloudy. We have 28 degrees in Missoula. We have a slight chance of late afternoon snow showers today. Roads mostly bare and wet. I-90 east and west, Highway 93 north over Evero Hill, Highway 83 from Clearwater Junction up to Seeley Lake. Our newscast sponsored by Ponderosa Dental. Just off Reserve on 3rd, when you think of a great smile, think of Ponderosa Dental, proud corporate partner of Grizzly Athletics. Our top story this morning, U.S. officials say they've canceled 15 oil and gas leases in an area bordering Glacier National Park, considered sacred to the Blackfeet tribes of the U.S. and Canada. Interior Secretary Sally Jewell said the move was announced yesterday, would preserve northwest Montana's 130,000-acre Badger II Medicine area. The Badger II Medicine is the site of the creation story for members of Montana's Blackfeet Nation and the Blackfeet tribes of Canada. The leases were issued in the 1980s and held by Oklahoma-based Devon Energy. No drilling has occurred. The cancellation comes amid sometimes violent protests over an oil pipeline being built near the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in North Dakota. The Obama administration has been criticized by some American Indians for its handling of that dispute. And a similar story, Montana Trout Unlimited is asking the U.S. Forest Service to close public lands in the Smith River drainage to mineral exploration. The conservation group filed the request with the Helena Lewis and Clark National Forest back in October. It argues that any mining could harm a popular trout fishery, recreational opportunities, and big game habitat. David Brooks with Montana Trout Unlimited said yesterday the organization made the request because of Tintina Resources Incorporated Black Butte Copper Project. Brooks said Tintina has 525 load claims of 10,000 acres of U.S. Forest Service land in the Smith River drainage. Tintina spokeswoman Nancy Schlepp calls the group's request a publicity stunt and says Tintina does not currently plan any exploration on those claims. Missoula County Commissioners took an important step forward at their Wednesday meeting towards approval of a sweeping jail diversion plan. Missoula County Sheriff T.J. McDermott has been working for over a year with State Senator Cynthia Walken on a plan to divert a significant percentage of inmates at the Missoula County Jail with mental problems and drug issues away from the jail and into various appropriate treatment programs.
Really, the plan's about the community working together to give people options rather than jail that allows them to seek treatment, rehabilitate, maintain their employment, maintain their family ties, and hopefully put a bump in the road behind them rather than have it enter them into a spiral where they can't get themselves out of the system.
McDermott said the jail diversion program will not only benefit offenders, but provide relief for an overworked jail staff that are simply not trained to treat mental health and drug addiction issues.
It's a big challenge on our staff out there, and it's where a lot of liability has come for the county with attacks on our detention officers, suicides, and other issues that we had out there. They do an amazing job, but it's difficult, sometimes dangerous, and it's just not the right place for people with mental illnesses.
The county commissioners drafted a resolution at Wednesday's meeting so that the jail diversion plan could be adopted at a later date. 39-year-old Jeremy Jones of Bonners in the Missoula County Jail this morning after allegedly beating and strangling his girlfriend, as well as holding a knife to her throat and cutting her face. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Mark Handelman asked Judge Landy Holloway for $50,000 bail.
This defendant punched, bit, strangled, suffocated, and scratched the victim's face with a knife blade, all while threatening to kill her. He was inebriated at the time. As you said, he is charged with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon, both very violent offenses.
Handelman informed Judge Holloway about Jones's criminal history.
This defendant has a long criminal history in California, including prior felonies for drug possession and vehicle theft. Defendant poses a significant danger to the community and the victim, and the state would request a $50,000 bond.
Judge Holloway attempted to communicate with Jones via video from the county jail, but the defendant responded with angry comments, glaring at the camera throughout his court appearance. Judge Holloway set bail at $50,000 and said if he's released, Jones must be placed on GPS monitoring and have no contact with the victim. A 53-year-old Lame Deer man with a history of assault and drunk driving convictions has been sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for striking and killing a pedestrian in Lame Deer in August of 2015. U.S. District Judge Susan Waters Tuesday gave Joseph Curtis Morrison the maximum sentence for involuntary manslaughter in the death of 49-year-old Daisy Ann Rowland. The Billings Gazette reports Assistant U.S. Attorney John Sullivan said Morrison treated Rowland, quote, like roadkill by dragging her and driving off. Prosecutors said Morrison has 7 DUI convictions between state and tribal courts and 4 assault convictions. During an open house at the Doubletree Hotel on Tuesday, officials from the Montana Department of Transportation and Frontier West Construction answered questions about the construction project to begin Monday to repair the crumbling Madison Street Bridge. District construction engineer with the MDT Missoula Division, Bob Vosen, explained how the project moved to the front of the line.
Back in April or May, that there was actually a couple chunks of the sidewalk fell through down onto the underlying trail, and we had been tracking it for some time and knew that it was on our long-range plan rehab or the project as we're going to, but this just accelerated our time frame.
Vosen said the initial work will begin this Monday, with replacement of the bridge decks coming in January.
Starting on Monday, they're going to start work on putting together the foundation on the south end of the bridge, the campus side of the bridge. So there should be minimal impacts to motor vehicle traffic and traffic over the top of the bridge until after the first of the year.
Vosen said the over $7 million project is scheduled for completion in August of 2017, of course, weather permitting. A tentative agreement has been reached between BNSF Railway and 7 environmental groups that sued, alleging coal spilled from trains pollutes waterways in Washington state. Under the agreement announced yesterday by both sides, BNSF agreed to conduct a 2-year study on physical covers for coal and petroleum coke rail cars. It also agreed to pay $1 million in environmental projects and clean up hotspots near waterways in Washington state. Well, being caught with your pants down is a common idiom for expressing embarrassment. But for 22-year-old Gennaro Anthony Rositti, the phrase became literal around 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh explains.
An off-duty officer and his family were in the area of 39th Street and Virginia Drive when they observed a male standing on the street with his pants down around his ankles. The male, when saw that he had attracted some attention, ran from the off-duty officer, who was on his cell phone and calling 911. And eventually other officers arrived, and they were able to take this male into custody in an open field adjacent to Door Lane.
Welsh said Rositti tried to run while his pants were down, which likely helped police catch him. Rositti is now being questioned in relation to a number of prowling incidents reported near 39th, 2 of which have eyewitnesses.
Those were incidences where somebody actually observed him outside windows looking in. And typically they were women in their homes that he was looking at through those windows. And that represents a lot more possibility of some different types of crime that if we can prevent, all the better.
Currently, Rositti is charged with obstructing a police officer in disorderly conduct. If he's linked to the prowling cases, more charges might follow. Our news talk time now is 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a slight chance of a snow shower. Daytime highs will be in the upper 30s, but will quickly drop into the 20s for the evening commute. And tonight we'll see our lows in the teens. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.